Thanks, Nick, for the introduction, and pleased to be here to share you the growth story that is Horizon Minerals. Starting with who we are, we're a very hands-on and practical board and management team. Myself, I'm a mining engineer, but we also cover the areas of geology, metallurgy and corporate finance. And the faces you see on screen have got deep experience where we operate in the Eastern Goldfields of WA, over 150 years of experience. So we've built mines, we've ran mines, and we've ran successful exploration and growth programs as well. So we believe the faces on screen have got the right skill set to execute our growth strategy. Starting with us, who we are at a glance, market cap of about 140 million. We're well cashed up, got over 30 million Aussie in the bank. EV is sitting around 113 million. So on a EV per resource ounce basis, we're about 63 bucks an ounce, and that's just valued on the gold assets. We also have a large silver zinc deposit, and we also have 420 metal tonnes of nickel in the ground as well, which aren't even valued within the company. We've been very active over the last couple of years, particularly last 12 months, and completed 2 mergers. So the first merger delivered another 500,000 ounces into the resource book. So we've got a good resource base of 1.8 million ounces. And we completed a merger with Poseidon Nickel in February this year. So it seems a bit strange that a gold-focused company is sort of acquiring nickel assets, but the jewel in the crown was a 2.2 million tonne per annum Black Swan processing plant. So it's located 40 kilometres north of Kalgoorlie, and our aim is to convert that nickel processing plant into a gold plant. We've also started 2 mines in the last 12 months as well. So we've got $30 million in the bank, and we're also generating free cash now and growing our cash balance. And we also have a large, extensive land position in a premier mining address in the Eastern Goldfields of WA with over 1,300 square k's of tenure. So our strategy, we want to be an independent gold producer. So we've started mining those 2 projects, as I've said. We've injected a lot of money, particularly into our Barara asset, and pleased to say now that that asset is washing its face and we're making strong cash flows out of that asset. We've also started mining our Phillips Fine project as well, and we're toll treating and we're doing all purchase agreements with these assets. So getting our foot on that Black Swan plant is a bit of a game changer for us. So we're no longer relying on third-party processing, which costs you quite a bit, especially when the gold price is higher. So we'll be able to produce gold at a lot lower cost. Our plan is to finish study work later this year. So in the December quarter, we'll deliver the study work. GR Engineering, a good engineering house, are doing the refurbishment and repurpose of that plant to a gold plant. We'll deliver that in the December quarter, along with showing at least a 5-year life of mine plan. So we aim to get that mill running at about 1.5 million tonnes per annum and an aspirational target of 100,000 ounces per annum over a minimum 5-year mine life. So looking at where we are, so right in the centre of the map there is Kalgoorlie Boulder. You can see our tenure in red. So our ground's on key geological structures. A lot of people think the Kalgoorlie Goldfields is a mature belt. It is. A lot of our ground's only drilled to 50 metres depth. So outside our resource base, we see enormous growth potential within the region. You can see the Black Swan processing plant sits up there, only 40 kilometres north of Kalgoorlie, so it's in a great spot. All our resource base is in easily truckable distance to that processing plant. And that replacement value of the plant's around $150 million. So we believe we can repurpose and refit that plant for about 60 million Aussie. So looking at our portfolio, so our Barara asset, we started mining this one in August last year, poured our first gold bars in January. This project's only a short 20-minute drive east of Kalgoorlie, so all our operators and our staff love it. They're nice and quick drive to work and home every night. We're treating 1.2 million tonnes of this project through Paddington plant, 30 k's north of Kalgoorlie. This project's earmarked to make 30 million of free cash flow over the next 12 months, and that's based on a gold price of $3,600 Aussie. Clearly the gold price is well north of that, so we should do much better than our $30 million that we're planning to make from this project. To date, we've treated over 300,000 tonnes and 8,000 ounces and sold at about 5,000 Aussie, so we've brought in about 40 million in revenue from this project to date. And as I said earlier, the project's actually turned the corner with the capital investment and is now actually making some good cash for us. Our Phillips Fine project, so this project's located 45 kilometres sort of to the northwest of Coolgardie. We started mining this project in October, and the point of difference with this project is we didn't want to stretch our capability starting two projects 2 months apart, and we also didn't want to stretch the balance sheet. So what we've done with this one is we've got a third-party operator that we're JVing with. So Barara, we've got our own management team in place, our own technical team running that operation. But with Phillips Fine, we've got a group called BML Ventures. So BML have done other JVs with other listed companies like Bright Star Resources, Oric Mining, and have got good capability and good track record. So these guys will come in, they'll bring all the trucks, they'll bring all the gear, and they'll run the operation. And they'll also put in the working capital, so we're not stretching our balance sheet. So for them taking on the risk of doing this project, we're splitting the cash out of this project 50-50. We've already started pouring bars out of this project in February this year. About 56,000 tonnes have gone through, about 2,800 ounces. Again, in a strong gold price environment, brought about $14 million of revenue into the bank. We're about to treat our third campaign next week, and then we'll do our final campaign from this project around September, October. So we'll need our cash from this project at the end of October, early November this year. Our Black Swan processing facility, so this is the jewel in the crown from the merger we did with Poseidon in February this year. It's a nameplate capacity of 2.2 million tonnes, and that's based on very hard nickel ore out of Black Swan. The blend that we'll run through is going to be a lot softer, so we could crank up this plant to 2.6 million tonnes quite easily. We're throttling the plant back to 1.5 million tonnes. We think that suits our resource base at the moment, and will give us good optionality to get to that 100,000 ounces per annum with our current resource base. If you look at the graphic there, you can see the disseminated open pit up the top, the high-grade Silver Swan sulphide mine there, the underground, and then on the left is the processing plant. One of the good things about getting a brownfield site, not only instead of having to spend $150 million on a plant, we can spend about 60 to get it up and running, is the fast tracking of the approvals. So all the approvals are already in place. You can see the tailings dam there on the right-hand side. It's got about 15 months deposition left in it. When this mine was put on care and maintenance about 12 years ago, they were part way through Lift 4, and Lift 5's already approved. So we've got 5 years of tailings already approved in our tailings dam. So it fast tracks things for us. In WA, at best, you'll get approvals for a tailings dam in 2 years, typically 3 years. The other thing I love about this site is it's on grid power, and it's already got established water bores. So it's got all the key ingredients to turn this plant on. So how are we going to convert it to a gold plant? If you look at the bottom blue icons, that's the current configuration. So whether it's a nickel plant or a gold plant, the front end is exactly the same. You still crush the ore and you still grind the ore through the mills. So that infrastructure's in place. All we need to do is refurbish that front end. And then we're going to build the gold circuit in and around the current configuration that exists there. So we'll build the leach and absorption tanks, the electro winning circuit, the elution circuit, the gravity circuit and the gold room. And we'll build that in and around the current flotation circuit. The reason we want to keep the flotation circuit in there is because we've got 420,000 tonnes of nickel in our resource space, and 240,000 tonnes of it is sitting at Black Swan. So there's no value in nickel at the moment. The price is depressed, but it gives us a great optionality to turn that plant back on as a nickel plant in the future as well, and we can run in parallel gold and nickel production. The other thing that's not really valued in our portfolio is we've got a project called Nimbus, which is right near our Barara project, only about 20 k's east of Kalgoorlie. So it's a large silver resource. It's 20 million ounces of silver and 104,000 tonnes of zinc, and it's also amenable for flotation. So with our plant, it'll be one of the only kind in WA where we can produce gold bars, send them and sell them to the mint, but we've got great optionality with our resource base to treat other commodities. So looking at our pipeline, starting on the right-hand side, we're mining our Phillips Fine and our Barara asset. So Barara is one of what we call our cornerstone assets. So between Barara and our Burbanks project, that's half our resource book, 900,000 ounces, so 50% of our 1.8 million ounces. We're only mining 15% of the ounces out of Barara at the moment and toll treating that through Paddington. So Barara's got a lot of legs left in it to actually provide a base load feed for that Black Swan plant. As we move a bit to the left, Cannon is an underground development. We've put a PFS in the market in 2022. It's already fully approved and ready to go, and we could start mining there tomorrow if we wanted to. Burbank's I'll talk about separately. Penny's Fine, we put a PFS in the market on that project in December 24, quite recently. That again is a fully approved underground development that's ready to go. And as you move to the left, you can see the rest of our resource base. So we're currently rerunning the PFS now at more applicable gold prices, probably around 4,000 Aussie, still a bit of a discount to spot, but most of the previous study work we've done has probably been around the 2,400 to 3,000 ounces. So we believe we've got a strong opportunity to get at least a 5-year life of mine plan through that Black Swan plant. Apart from production and getting a plan up and running, we've got a reinvigorated exploration strategy. So we're well cashed up to deliver on that strategy. So we're going to put 50,000 metres into the ground over the next 18 months. 30,000 metres of that is going to go into our Burbanks project. We've also got a new discovery potential at Wilson's, which is really close to the Black Swan plant, and also the greater Barara area. So Barara is a large resource, 430,000 ounces, but it's only along a strike of 1.5 kilometres, whereas that Barara shear along our ground runs probably 11 kilometres. So we've got enormous potential, not only parallel to strike, but along strike to increase that base load at Barara. Looking at a Burbanks project, you see the graphic there, the current resource envelopes in the yellow and orange outlines there, and probably what stands out is only 30% of the resource has been drilled to 500 metres depth. So there's a really good opportunity to increase that resource base. It's 465,000 ounces there. If our chairman was here, he already believes it's a 1 million ounce deposit, just needs more drilling, and he's probably right. In 2022, there was about 10,000 metres put in this asset and grew the resource by 190,000 ounces. So it's one of those great assets that the more you drill, the more you seem to find. It's typical Coolgardie, so it's narrow vein, but it's very high grade. So this mine has been sort of worked for the last 100 years or so, and 420,000 ounces have been pulled out of this mine at a very high grade of 10.9 grams a tonne. So it's a very high grade asset and can provide a good base load along with Barara feeding our Black Swan plant. We're putting 30,000 metres into this asset, as I said. The first 15,000 metre program is underway. We're on the third hole at the moment, and that's primarily infill, so that's going to increase the confidence of our resource base, get more of that underground resource from inferred into indicated, and then we can put it in our mine plan. That'll take us about 4 months, and then we'll start phase 2, so another 15,000 metres, and that's to grow the resource from that 465,000 ounces and get on our way to that 1 million ounce resource that we think this can be. A little bit about Poseidon. So obviously they've been a nickel-focused company. Only 5% of the assays on the ground have ever been assayed for gold. So we see enormous upside in this package for gold as well. They recently pivoted from nickel to gold probably 12 to 18 months ago and did a lot of soils and geochem work on the ground there. You can see they've identified 4 anomalies, and the one that excites me the most is that northern anomaly you can see. And I'm a mining engineer, not a geologist, but hot colours get me excited. But it's a bit more than that. Our caretakers at Prospect out there, they've found over 130 nuggets out there in the last 6 months. So there seems to be a couple of structures that are outcropping. The geochem signatures are lining up with those outcrops. And there's been historic hits around there of about 6 grams a tonne. So this Wilson's prospect that's located in that northern anomaly, it's only 200 metres from the plant. So I think it'll be a pretty good story if we can find a new discovery. It's very early stage, but if we can find a new discovery right next door to our newly minted gold plant, I think it'd be a pretty good thing. Regional consolidation. So you can see on the map there, our tenure's shown in red, and you can see a lot of the other major players there. So we're not the biggest player in the Eastern Goldfields by market cap, but we've got a dominant land position, 1,300 square k's. So we've got the 3rd largest package in the region, only behind Orabanda Mining and Northern Star Resources. As I said before, a lot of our package is underexplored, hasn't had modern exploration techniques, and we believe we can grow this resource base even further. The area is still ripe for consolidation. There's a lot of stranded assets in the majors that are too far from their processing infrastructure. There's other companies out there that have got development-ready assets, but they don't have a processing solution. We now do with Black Swan. So I think there's a lot of M&A and a lot of opportunities in the Eastern Goldfields to come, and we can be a large player in that. So just to wrap up, we've got money in the bank now. We're producing gold bars. We're bringing cash into the business. We think we've got a low capex start to be a gold producer independently in our own right. We're doing the study work this year. We'll complete that in December. We'll do an FID this year as well. We'll start refurbishment of the plant. We believe it'll take us 9 months to repurpose and refit that plant. We aim to turn it on in late 2026 and be an independent gold producer in our own right. So that funding gap that we need to refurbish that plant, start the mines, is going to be less because we're already cashed up and we're generating cash. So I think that's a point of difference for us. And I think it's a good story. We've got a few re-rate triggers as we start getting some metrics in the market on the PFS. That'll actually tell you what our portfolio is worth and how much money we're going to make. So I love the story, and if you'd like to hear more about it, please come and see us at the booth.